The peculiar ring on Zephyr's finger emitted a low hum, a familiar sensation of warning that pulsed through his hand as he entered the dimly illuminated briefing room of the Galactic Security Agency's headquarters. The holographic display before him sprang to life, revealing the severe visage of Commander Valerus. "Let's be straightforward," Valerus stated, his cybernetic eye whirring as it focused intently. "This contract presents some anomalies. 20 million credits for a simple protective assignment." Zephyr raised an eyebrow, the price suggesting anything but simplicity. "The client is Lyra Carstairs." The name sent an unforeseen jolt through Zephyr's system. Carstairs, the same unusual family he had encountered during his youth. His hand instinctively touched the ring, a gift from that very family, along with the adaptive armor he wore beneath his attire. "She's arriving at the Centaurus spaceport in 3 hours. Valerus leaned forward, his expression somber. "She possesses a peculiar influence over people. A type of biological aura that induces euphoria and a loss of self-control. You'll need these." He slid a case across the table. Inside lay a set of neural suppressors. Zephyr disregarded them, his ring would provide all the protection he required. The spaceport's private landing bay shimmered with polished chrome and gentle azure lighting. Zephyr positioned himself near the entrance, his armor subtly shifting beneath his clothing, adjusting to his heightened awareness. A sleek vessel, painted in deep purples and silvers, descended. As the boarding ramp extended, Zephyr's ring began to pulse more intensely than ever before. Then he saw her. Lyra Carstairs emerged, a vision seemingly from another dimension. Her skin was an enchanting shade of blue that shimmered in the spaceport's lights. She moved with effortless grace, despite the bulky Shadow Forge restraints on her wrists, legendary artifacts that were said to weigh as much as a small shuttle each. Her figure was impeccably proportioned, but it was her face that drew his attention, high cheekbones, full lips curved in a knowing smile, and eyes that held ancient wisdom behind their playful gleam. "So," she said, her voice carrying a melodious quality that sent a shiver down his spine, "you're the one they sent to guard me." She approached him with deliberate steps. "Touch me, I dare you. Think you can handle these magnificent curves?" His ring flared with possibilities. "Step back, 43% chance of successful mission, maintain distance, 67% chance, accept her challenge, 89% chance." Zephyr moved forward smoothly, his arm encircling her waist. The contact sent a surge of energy through his body, but he kept his expression neutral. "I handle whatever the job requires, Ms. Carstairs." Her eyes widened in surprise, then sparkled with delight. "Oh, I like you. Most men either run or drool by now." She didn't pull away from his touch. "Call me Lyra. And you are Zephyr, just Zephyr, it's enough." She laughed, a sound like crystal chimes, a man of mystery. "Perfect." Her expression suddenly turned serious, "though I should warn you, I'm not usually this restrained." These cuffs, she lifted her wrist slightly, the movement requiring noticeable effort, "let's just say I've had better days." "What happened?" Zephyr asked, finally releasing her waist, though his skin seemed to retain a memory of the contact. "Politics, betrayal, the usual drama that comes with being a galactic noble," she waved it off with forced nonchalance. "Nothing I can't handle once I recover my strength." As they walked toward the private transport, Zephyr's ring continued its warning pulses. Lyra seemed to find every opportunity to brush against him, to lean close when speaking, to touch his arm for emphasis. "You're different," she said during a quiet moment. "Most people can't resist my natural charm, even with dampeners. Maybe I'm just professional." Zephyr smirked. "Or maybe you have secrets of your own." Her eyes flicked to his ring. "That's an interesting piece of jewelry." Zephyr felt a jolt of recognition. The ring's design, could it be connected to her family? The memory of that childhood encounter flashed through his mind, the blue-skinned girl, the magnificent estate, her parents. "Something on your mind?" Lyra's voice brought him back to the present. "Just focusing on keeping you safe." She stepped closer, her scent like exotic flowers. "Are you sure that's all you're focusing on?" The ring pulsed a warning, but Zephyr was already learning to navigate the fine line between maintaining a professional distance and building the trust needed for this mission. Besides, something about her seemed hauntingly familiar, stirring memories he tried to forget. "Tell me," she said, running a finger along the restraint on her right wrist, "have you ever been to the Carstairs estate?" Zephyr's heart skipped a beat, but years of training kept his expression neutral. "Can't say that I have." She gave him a look that suggested she didn't quite believe him. "Shame, it's quite magical." His ring flared again, and this time the probability paths it showed were entirely new, branching into territories he had never seen before. Something told him this mission would be unlike anything he had ever experienced, and he wasn't entirely sure if that was a good thing. The private transport glided through the neon-lit skyways of New Shanghai, its tinted windows reflecting the kaleidoscope of colors from surrounding skyscrapers. Lyra sat across from Zephyr, those shadow-forged restraints resting heavily in her lap. "So tell me about yourself, mysterious protector," she purred, crossing her legs, the movement deliberately graceful. "What makes a man immune to my charm?" Zephyr's ring flickered with potential responses. He chose carefully. Experience teaches control. "Does it now?" Her lips curved upward. "And what kind of experiences are we talking about?" Before he could respond, the transport lurched. Zephyr's enhanced armor instantly stiffened, ready for action, but it was just turbulence from a passing cargo ship. Lyra had been thrown forward slightly, and Zephyr caught her instinctively. The contact sent another wave of that strange energy through him, but this time he noticed something else, a familiar resonance, like an echo from his past. "My hero," she teased, but didn't immediately pull away. "These restraints make balance challenging." "Why are you wearing them?" Zephyr asked, helping her back to her seat. Her playful expression faltered for a moment. "Let's just say some people find my natural abilities concerning, especially during delicate negotiations." "The same abilities that affect others' emotions?" "Oh, that's just the surface." Lyra leaned forward, lowering her voice conspiratorially. "Without these, I could do things that would make your head spin. Teleportation, energy manipulation, maybe even a little time distortion." Zephyr's ring pulsed rapidly. The mention of teleportation triggered another flash of memory, that childhood moment of sudden displacement, finding himself in that magnificent estate. "You don't believe me?" Lyra challenged, noticing his thoughtful expression. "I believe there's more to you than meets the eye." She laughed. "Diplomatic answer. But you're right, there's always more. Just like there's more to you than this professional facade. That ring, for instance." Zephyr unconsciously touched the artifact. "Just a lucky charm, really." Lyra shifted closer, despite the weight of her restraints. "Because it looks remarkably like something my father once crafted. Special order, for a special guest." The ring warmed against his skin, and the probability paths it showed began to twist in unexpected ways. Lyra's proximity was affecting its predictions, creating patterns he'd never seen before. "Your father makes jewelry," he kept his tone casual. "Among other things. He's quite the artisan, especially when it comes to items with unique properties." She reached for his hand, but Zephyr smoothly stood up, moving to check the transport's navigation system. Lyra's laugh followed him, avoiding contact now after that bold embrace at the spaceport. Professional assessment of the situation required it then and now. The ring showed him multiple futures branching out from this moment. In some, he maintained his distance; in others, "We're approaching your hotel," he deflected. "And security should be our priority." Always so focused on duty, Lyra sighed dramatically. "But tell me, Zephyr, when you dream about blue-skinned girls, are you always this professional?" His head snapped toward her. The ring burned hot against his finger. Lyra's smile was triumphant. "Oh yes, I can sense it, your particular interest. The question is, where did it come from?" The transport began its descent toward the hotel's private landing pad, but Zephyr barely noticed. His mind was racing with implications. Could she know about that childhood encounter? Was she? "We're here," he announced, pushing the thoughts aside. "Professional now, Questions later. So we are, Lyra rose gracefully despite her restraints. As she passed him, she whispered, "Don't worry, Zephyr, we have plenty of time to unravel each other's mysteries." The ring pulsed one final time, showing him a glimpse of intertwined destinies. This mission, he realized, was going to test more than just his professional boundaries. It was going to test everything he thought he knew about his past, his present, and his future.